I have been muted this whole time. But what I was saying is, welcome back to another live stream. We are here. I fixed my microphone. Thank you guys in the chat right now for telling me my mic was muted. Well, anyway, I was going to say, so we are here. We're going to be talking about Superman, Lois, The Flash, and everything that happened this week, and anything else you guys want to talk about. If you want to have your questions featured on the live stream, and I'll pop it up on the screen like this, please be sure to send in those questions via Super Chat. How do you send it in via Super Chat? Well, you go underneath the chat function, and I'm not sure. Like, my mic should be fine now. I don't know. Some people said they had to restart. Anyway, so you can go underneath the chat function, click the $sign, and send in your topical question, and it will be popped up on the screen, and I'm going to answer it right away. I do have some topics to go throughout this live stream, as I do have every week, and I'm going to go through those, and obviously you can give your thoughts and opinions on all of that. But if you want to interject, please be sure to send in those super chats so that we can talk about your specific burning question that you have for me. Eric was going to be on the live stream today, but I had to reschedule it to earlier in the day. Normally we do this at like 9 p.m. UK time, like 9:30ish, and today it's like 6:40ish. Like, I was supposed to start a bit earlier, but I was a bit delayed. So I'm starting like nearly 3 hours earlier. So maybe some of you guys aren't even on that are normal, like who come every week, or some of you guys like have missed like all the other streams because it's too late for you or something. But so we got a lot of topics to go through. First off, I want to get all of your guys' thoughts and opinions on The Flash this week, because The Flash was the first episode that aired. Obviously, we have Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman. You can give your thoughts and opinions on both of those shows. However, I'm behind on them, so I can't really talk about them in that much detail. Obviously, I can, read out your question and give my basic thoughts. But yeah, let's talk about The Flash. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. We got some people sending in some stuff already. We got Bradley saying it was garbage. We have below average, George says. James said it was BS. Dark Shadow says, I didn't watch Team Flash. I get the joke there. That's the Eric joke. Jamal says average. The Flash was boring, but next week's Flash looks much better. Yeah, I agree. We're going to get Godspeed. Sure, we're going to talk about that at some point throughout the live stream today, because my next video is going to be a trailer breakdown on the Godspeed trailer. I haven't got around to actually watching it quite yet, but I'm going to be making that video, and that's going to be going up tomorrow, so don't miss that. Boring Soul said, it seems like a lot of people are agreeing and saying like, oh, this week's episode of The Flash wasn't that good and it was pretty boring, I think, is like the kind of main thing that has been said in the chat, and is pretty much agreed on online by lots of people, that it was just a bit of a letdown because you had like two scenes with Barry. You had no Iris throughout the whole episode. And I mean, Caitlin was in it, but she was like barely in it. And so the main focus of this whole episode was supposedly on Allegra, but then Allegra wasn't even like the main focus. And I think Eric said this. If you guys have seen Eric's review, obviously Eric's Reloaded on YouTube, I think he said a very good point that I wanted to bring up in the live stream. Obviously, I wish he was here to talk about it. However, you guys can go check out his review. But so what I was going to say, and what Eric pointed out in his review, that it's more focused on Ultraviolet than it is on Allegra herself. And we're going to get into that in just a moment, but we do have our first super chat from Ryan. Thank you very much, Ryan. Ryan sends in a $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated for supporting the channel on that level, Ryan. So Ryan says, why did Lois not call Kara and say like, your cousin has gone mad and we need to sort him out? They could have at least shown Lois call Kara. Yeah, see, this is a thing that we get asked about a lot. Obviously, I get asked a lot because, we're like, my channel is mainly about like theorizing, breaking down the episodes, like what can happen in the future. So this is brought up a lot, and it has been for the last however many years I've been doing this. People always are like, why can't this hero call up, say, when Arrow was on, like, why can't Arrow just call up the Flash or Supergirl to, come and defeat Damien Dark or someone like that, But the answer is, for questions like that, you have to suspend your disbelief like a little bit, right? You can't really expect like someone to like in the show. Basically, they don't have the capacity to actually cross over all the time, and even though we like it when they cross over and they cool on everyone else and it's awesome, it's just literally not feasible. So I get it. Like, I think your idea of like at least showing Lois cooling Kara would be like a really good idea in this case. But in the reality of things, they don't always want to cross over the characters and the shows. So that's why you'll have big events like Superman going evil, but then they will not acknowledge the rest of the Arrowverse. So they won't be like, oh, I'm going to call the Flash to try and save Superman, or I'm going to call Supergirl to save Superman. But also in a like, like a logistic standpoint, Supergirl and all these other shows, it's pretty hard to cross over right now. So if we did actually have a crossover, it would be pretty hard. But thank you so much, Ryan, for the super chat, and hopefully I clarified that for you. Like, I agree. Like, obviously, in an instance like this, your instinct and your initial thoughts would be, oh, I need to call Supergirl or someone that's really powerful, and I would do that myself. Like, I think we would all do that. We would call Supergirl, or we would call like the Flash or someone to help. But yeah, so thank you so much for the super chat, Ryan. Much appreciated. And Ethan says, this is a weird time for you to stream. Yeah, so I was supposed to stream later today at my normal point. Like, I normally stream for you guys that are regulars who come and join the live streams. I always stream at about like 9 to 9:30 p.m. UK time. So that's like, I always calculate it in Eric's time, like Eastern Standard Time, in New York and etc. So that's like 4:30, like 4 to 4:30 p.m. EST is roughly when we normally stream. But today, like I said, I was going to have Eric on and everyone, but I had to reschedule the stream to do this earlier because I actually have to go out, and so I'm kind of double booking on myself by accident without knowing. So yeah, so that's why we're streaming earlier today. But thank you so much for the question, and hopefully I clarified that for you. Next week should be normal time, and hopefully I'm going to have Eric on. Also, I'm going to be back on the after party hopefully next week as well. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, Ryan, who just sent in the super chat, says, we need a timeline of the Arrowverse. Yeah, that's true. We do need a timeline of the Arrowverse. Because, like, okay, maybe that's a cool video idea. Like, what happens if I go back and I track, like, all the big major events? Obviously not, like, every episode of every show, but, like, the big major events of, like, when did Supergirl become Supergirl? When did Superman become Superman? When did the Flash become the Flash? When did Batwoman becomes Batwoman? And then we make a timeline in like a video, and then by the end you'll see like the whole timeline of like the major events in the Arrowverse. I think that would be pretty cool. That's a good idea, and I think we do need this at some point, right? So I mean, maybe we could do it. So that would be very cool. When is my episode 15 trailer breakdown of The Flash coming? Well, that's actually coming tomorrow. I wasn't able to double upload yesterday. I did slightly run out of time, so I only could do my Superman Lois review. If you haven't seen my Superman Lois review or my Flash review, you can go check them out. They came out yesterday. They're up on the channel right now. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. So let's go back and head on to The Flash whilst before where we were at, like before Ryan sent in the super chat. Thank you very much once again, Ryan. Okay, so it's mainly about Ultraviolet this episode, this week of The Flash, right? Episode 14. It was another filler episode, just like episode 12, 13, and 14 have been. And so now we only have 4 episodes left. And like I said on last week's stream, I was talking to CanadaGraphs about this last week. And I think it's bad that we only have 4 episodes left with Godspeed's storyline. We have to introduce him. Obviously, we've seen like iterations of him before, but we haven't known this version of Godspeed. So we have to introduce him. We have to find out what his plans are. We need to fight him. One team has to get the upper hand. Probably Godspeed's going to get the upper hand. And then we need to have the final battle. I think 4 episodes is way too short for that. I think you need like a half season at least. So I don't see why they did these 3 filler episodes back to back to back, cutting off half of the story. I don't know. I think, yeah, like Pav says in the chat, a 3-year setup for a 4-episode arc. Yeah, it's true. Like you've seen Godspeed in that Godspeed episode in season 5 with Danielle Panabaker directing. And then you see Godspeed show up again at the start of season 6 with all the clones. And so there was like a couple more times where he's appeared. But, now we're going to conclude in 4 episodes, apparently. Oops. But yeah, so they could have gave us 20 episodes. Yeah, they could have gave us 20 episodes. But, what are you going to do? I guess it's like mainly because of like the restrictions. So they decided, okay, we're going to go 18 episodes, a bit less for us to do. And like, we know that we're going to be filming the next season, like season 8 pretty soon after. So, yeah. What is a filler episode? A filler episode is an episode where it doesn't necessarily relate to like the big overarching story of the whole season. So hopefully that explains it. Okay, so let's move on. And so Ultraviolet is basically the main focus of this episode. That's kind of what happened throughout it. You had her and, she was going around. She returned to Central City. And she was doing her villainous stuff, but it turns out she's actually after the doctor that made her. Now, this story was a lot of back and forth. Like, it was a lot of repeating, right? Because it was Ultraviolet shows up. Allegra tries to reason with her. Ultraviolet beats her up or something, or they have a fight. She runs off. Then they meet again. They do the same thing. Then they meet again, do the same thing. But then by the end of the episode, it turns out she's not the villain, and she is the one who's going after the villain of the episode, technically, who is that doctor. So it's interesting that, they did this kind of redemption arc for her a little bit. Like, it's sort of a redemption. And it's interesting to see how they did it. However, Ultraviolet is like one of the least interesting villains on the show. Like, she popped up like a bunch of times in season 6, and she was just like this random villain that just so happened to have a connection to Allegra, and it was like an excuse for her to kind of show up, I guess. And I still don't get why the show is keeping Allegra around. I'm sorry. Like, I think she's the one character on the show who is not good. And like most people agree, like she's just not very interesting at all. And this episode was supposed to be about Allegra. But like Eric said, if you watched his after party yesterday, and I'm repeating a lot of what Eric's saying because he's completely right about this, is Allegra is not the main focus. Actually, wait, it was Paige who said it in the after party. He said, name 3 things about what happened to Allegra in this episode, like how she developed. You can't name a single thing. You can name stuff that happened to Ultraviolet because she had that redemption. She had the doctor revealed. That was like a whole big thing. That is something new. So it was mainly about Ultraviolet, and Allegra was just there trying to reconcile with her cousin, and she didn't have much going for her throughout this episode. And I still stand by it that I don't think Allegra is a very good character at all, and I don't know why she's still around. Okay, so Night Owl sends in a super chat. Thank you very much. Night Owl sends in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, Night Owl. Night Owl says, are you going to watch the new DC movies, and have you seen the old ones? And if so, which one is your favorite? Mine is Crisis on Two Earths. Also, you are great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much, Night Owl. Are you going to watch the new DC movies? Of course, I'm going to watch them. I love them. I get invited to the premieres here in London, which I'm very lucky about. So I've met a lot of the actors. Like, I went to the Birds of Prey premiere. I met Margot Robbie, which was really cool. So I get a lot of benefits doing my channel because I do get invited to these events. Like, side note, like I'm going to see Black Widow. I know it's a Marvel film, but I'm gonna see that in like 5 days time or something. So I'm lucky that I get invited to see stuff early. So I'm definitely seeing the new DC movies. Like, sorry, the new Suicide Squad film is coming out, I believe, in like August time, and so of course I'm gonna go and watch it, and hopefully they do a premiere and I get to meet the cast or something. That would be really cool. But I'm looking forward to that. It looks very good and much better than the original Suicide Squad film, which I don't like. What actors did you meet? I mean, I met like a bunch of actors. I met the whole Birds of Prey cast, which was really cool. Like Huntress, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, Renee Montoya, everyone on the cast basically. And then I met Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. I was at the Shazam premiere. I got to talk to Zachary Levi in person, shake his hand, and yeah, also Mark Strong was there, the villain in Shazam. Yes, this is a flex, but it's really, really awesome. So I'm just saying that you guys do this for me. So thank you so much. So of course I'm going to watch the new DC films. Okay. And have you seen the old ones? So what is your guys in the chat right now? Tell me, what is your favorite DC film of all time? You can say your favorite DCEU film and your favorite like separate DC film. So whether it's like The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, freaking Catwoman or something, or Batman 89 or something like that. So for me, my favorite DCEU film, so in the cinematic universe, they started with Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. Out of the DCEU films, I'm going to say my favorite definitely is Wonder Woman still. I love it. I've loved it since it came out. I watched it so many times. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I think Night Owl's favorite is Crisis on Two Earths. I believe that's an animated film. I have not watched that, but I've watched like a bunch of the animated ones. But my favorite DCEU film is definitely Wonder Woman. It's really good. I really like it. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is like right up there, especially now it includes Darkseid because Darkseid's awesome. But in terms of the other DC films that aren't DC Cinematic Universe films, I'm going to say easily my favorite is The Dark Knight and the whole Dark Knight trilogy, like Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, all those films I can watch anytime. I watch them in the cinema every time they come out. Like they're showing The Dark Knight very soon, like in the next few weeks. I'm going to go see it. The Dark Knight I consider to be like my favorite film ever, along with like a bunch of other films. But like if someone asks me, what's your favorite film? I'll say The Dark Knight, So definitely The Dark Knight for me. But thank you so much, Night Owl, for the super chat. Much appreciated. And remember, guys, if you have any burning questions, you can send in your super chats right now as we go through the live stream. Obviously, we got a while. We're like 20 minutes into the stream. And keep on sending your thoughts and opinions on like The Flash and everything else. I see a lot of people in the chat are giving their opinions. Like they say Zack Snyder's Justice League, DCEU film Man of Steel. Cal says the Snyder Cut. A non-DCEU film is Crisis on Two Earths. So James, Batman Returns is fantastic. I love Batman Returns. I love Batman as well. You know, the original Tim Burton film, fantastic. I love those films. Okay, so Night Owl sends in another super chat. Thank you so much, Night Owl. Night Owl says, I meant animated DC movies. My bad. Long Halloween has good reviews so far. Yeah, so let's talk about DC animated films because I really like DC animated films. I'm gonna like pop up a list of DC animated films that have come out because I've watched all of them apart from some of the new ones. I'm a little bit behind. I can tell you which ones I've missed recently. I'm just popping up a list. So recently, I think the last one they did was the Justice Society film. I don't believe no, and I definitely haven't seen the Justice Society film. Batman Soul of the Dragon, I haven't seen. That was a pretty new one. I do have that on DVD. I haven't seen Superman Red Sun. I have seen Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I haven't seen Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Basically, it's been like a couple of years since I've like fully kept up to date. However, I have seen the death. I've seen the Death of Superman. I've seen Reign of Superman. I haven't actually. Wait, no, I've seen Batman Hush. I haven't seen Wonder Woman Bloodlines or Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So I'm a little bit behind. But I'm really excited to watch like Justice Society World War II, especially. And then I am being sent, and I was offered to do a watch along by DC. They asked me, and they were like, for the new Batman, the Long Halloween films, like they're doing a part 1 and part 2, which are coming out. Part 1 is out now. Part 2 is coming out very soon. So they're going to send me the films. I'm going to watch both of them. And then obviously I'll try and do a review on the channel. So hopefully you guys are going to watch Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. I'm super excited for that. And so we're going to be covering it. Don't worry about that. But my favorite DC animated film, and you guys can give your opinions on what you think is your favorites. James is still saying Crisis on Two Earths. Yeah. Red Sun is good. I haven't seen Red Sun yet. I do mean to actually watch that. But I really, really like, if I'm going to say like my one favorite Night Owl, I'm probably going to say, this is a hard one. I'm probably going to say maybe Flashpoint, maybe the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox. I think that's a really, really good film. Or I really like, you know, Justice League versus Teen Titans. I really like all the Teen Titans and, you know, Bat Family ones they had, like Batman versus Robin and Batman Bad Blood. Or Son of Batman is very good. I'm just having a look. Okay, so I'm going to either say it's going to be Flashpoint Paradox or it's going to be Batman, The Mask of the Phantasm from the 90s. It's really freaking good. Like, you guys should watch it. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question, Night Owl. Sorry that I kind of expanded that and I went through like all the catalog, trying to see what I'm behind on. But I have got a bunch of them, and I think I got some of them on DVD here, but I'm not sure entirely where they are, but they're somewhere around. I know I got like the Suicide Squad one and, you know, like a couple of the other ones. But I've seen all of them like before 2018. Yeah, Dark Knight Returns is very good as well. But yeah, Flashpoint Paradox or Batman Mask of the Phantasm definitely is my favorite. Hello, Vera. Welcome to the live stream. And everyone else. So also, thank you so much, Night Owl, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's go back onto the Flash where we were at. So we talked about Ultraviolet. We talked about Allegra and, you know, what happened with them this episode. Obviously, like I said, it was more so focused on Ultraviolet than it was about like Allegra progressing, even though it was advertised as an Allegra episode. She really didn't progress that much. So I know a lot of people earlier in the stream said they didn't like the episode or found it boring. Why didn't you like the episode? Let me know. Do you think it's like the writing? Do you think it's the acting? Or was it just you don't like Allegra? Let me know in the chat right now. I'm going to say, for me, I didn't think this episode was bad. Like, I thought it was okay. Like, it was a definite skippable episode. Like, if you go back and rewatch the whole season, I think this episode is going to be one of the episodes where you skip out. And that's a fact. You know, I preferred Cecile's episode because you had Barry, you had Iris in the episode, even though it wasn't like a super good episode. And like Cisco's episode, I'm going to go back and watch that. It was really good. It was really fun, even though it technically is filler. But you had all the characters and it was super interesting and it was just a good time. But yeah, so I think not having Barry and Iris is like a big detriment to this episode, and it definitely weighed it down. But yeah, so, you know, what they set up at the end of the episode was kind of funny. You had Chester and you had Allegra, and I have to mention, I really, really like Chester. I think he's awesome. I think he is one of the best new characters, and I've been pretty much on this same streak of really liking Chester ever since his big episode recently. So yeah, I really, really had a good time always with Chester, and same thing in this episode. Is really nice when he shows up, but he was sidelined. And one thing, can we get Allegra to stop calling him Chuck? Because I don't know, like now they're setting up this relationship thing with them. Like that is what I was going to get to. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird that she still doesn't know he's called Chester, and that she just like willingly calls him Chuck, like out of nowhere. And like they're setting this thing up, and she's still calling him Chuck like 5 times in this episode. I thought like, oh, like, come on, stop calling him Chuck at least. George says the plot was boring. The doctor idea was a bit random and not well thought out. Yeah, I have to agree. The doctor thing is very rushed, and the actor wasn't very good. He was like, ha ha ha, I am an evil doctor. You know, like that's basically his character. And literally, they didn't have to train to go after this guy. Like, all they could have done is just zapped him, and he would have been out of the game because he's just a human. And no way did they have to train to take down this like stupid doctor or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on the doctor side of things. But I really, really like Sue in this episode. I thought she and she and Chester, and also Joe's like bit of the storyline kind of saved this episode from being bad for me, because I enjoyed it enough seeing their scenes. Like, yes, Sue's scene where she was oh no, that was last episode where she was dancing over the lasers. But yeah, Sue is basically the team leader in this episode. That's kind of what we were going for. And obviously she's like a replacement of Barry technically, but you know, the way that it was done, I thought it was pretty good. Sorry, I got hiccups. And I thought Sue was very charismatic. She was very funny, and you know, I had a good time watching, and I think she is a pretty good character. And it's good that she was in this episode, and it wasn't just like purely Allegra and Ultraviolet. So yeah, it kind of gave like a balance to the episode. Don't worry, you didn't miss most of the stream, but yeah, make sure to hit the notification bell with like all the notifications if you want to be notified. But we still have like half an hour or so left on the stream, and at this point, I'm going to remind you guys, please be sure to send in the super chats if you have any questions or theories about anything that we're going to be talking about. Obviously, we're still on the Flash right now, and we will, you know, get back to Superman and Lois in a minute. And I'm going to pop on the screen right here. So this is how you can send in super chats if you want to be featured on the stream like this. So click the super chat button, type in whatever you want, and that is the best way to get your question answered. It can be about anything that you want. Doesn't need to be related to what I'm talking to. You know, it can be anything, any idea that you have you want to ask me. So we'll go ahead and pop that up on the screen straight away. But for now, let's quickly talk about next week's episode of The Flash. They released the trailer. Obviously, my video is coming out on the episode 15 trailer with Godspeed tomorrow. So please be sure to watch that video. Don't miss out on that. We're going to be breaking it down. And so basically an army of Godspeeds is going to be coming to Central City. And August Hart's going to be showing up. Obviously, it's going to be like a different version of August Hart. And right now, like what someone said earlier, you know, like it's been like 3 years or something, maybe 4 years since Godspeed was first introduced. Not 4 years, sorry. It's been like 3 years, like maybe 2.5 to 3, since Godspeed was first introduced in season 5, you know, into the show. And he's been teased, like he was at the start of like season 6, and he had an episode in season 5. Obviously, you know, this storyline that has been set up was what we saw in season 6, episode 1, and you saw the different clones and them taking them down. I think one popped up again later, but yeah, so that's kind of what goes on so far. And episode 15 is going to be his first episode, so yeah, that's happening next week. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to him. He's going to be facing off against Flash. Barry's actually going to be suiting up, which is very cool. Like, he hasn't been suiting up that much recently. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And so George sends in the question, do you think that Reverse Flash is controlling the Godspeed clones and has the real Godspeed hostage? I don't think so, but I would like to think there is some sort of twist about what's happening and like who is the real person orchestrating these Godspeed clones. And like, obviously they're going to have to answer like, how the hell is he creating these Godspeed clones? I mean, in the comics, he does have the ability to be in like 3 places at once, but it uses a lot of his power, and like, it isn't very good if he does that all the time. So making this many clones is obviously going to take down his powers a bit. So yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to episode 15. We're going to have that army versus the Flash. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Superman Lois. So Superman Lois had a great episode this week. You guys know that it was fantastic. It's always been good, like since the first episode. And this episode is no different. It is so good. I mean, most of this episode is essentially an origin story, right? Like, you kind of get what's going on. I'm going to pop up the photos on the screen, so, like, I'm not that boring. Let's get this. Where is it? Here we go. So we have this, and it's sort of like an origin episode, like I said before. And, you know, it kind of confuses you at first. You're like, oh, like, all right, I guess this is an origin episode. And then, you know, we get into it and we're like super absorbed into it, right? Like, you don't think that, oh, you know, this isn't the main story or something. No, you're actually like sucked into it. And basically the origin / flashback side of it was so good, because you don't even think like, oh, where is Morgan Edge? Where has this stuff happened after the aftermath of last episode? No, basically you're taken back. You see young Clark that you can see right here. You know, he eventually finds and makes his Fortress of Solitude. Sorry, I was just reading some of the chat. See you later, Garrick. He meets his Kryptonian father for the first time. He realizes that he's from Krypton, and he is told why he has powers on this Earth. And that's because of the Earth's yellow sun and the radiation. That's kind of, that is the reason why Superman is Superman and has all these powers. And then there was this like really cool, like, obviously the cinematography is just great in the show, but seeing them like transform is really cool, like just the way that they did it. And yeah, we go through like a bunch of stuff. Like Clark comes home after his training with his Kryptonian hologram father, and he's given the cape, and then he eventually suits up and becomes Superman with the original Action Comics costume, which is awesome. And then, we repeat where we were at episode 1, like we saw the scene, and then we move on, and basically it continues right from there. And it was just so good seeing this. And it's like normal people of how they, interacted and became like how they saw Superman. Like this lady in this shot is like, oh, there was this dude, and like he flew up into the sky, saved this kid from being killed. It was like a bird or a plane or something, obviously a reference to the classic Superman line about being a bird or a plane. And then it leads into the Daily Planet, and you have everything that went on was just so good, and it fits so well. Like, we've seen aspects of this. We've seen in Clark and Lois's first meet for the first time inside the Daily Planet, but you're getting like the inside threads of how everything is going to be happening. And so it's just fantastic. And then, he's in the Daily Planet. He gets to know Lois. They start working together more and more. Then Superman meets Lois for the first time, which is really cool. And she gets attacked, and he blocks the flames that she's getting flamethrower from with his body. And then Lois reacts, and they shake hands, and they take down this villain together. And so, yeah, this is kind of the start of their kind of dynamic as Superman and Lois, as the show says, which is really cool. And if you guys have any thoughts on Superman and Lois, obviously let me know in the chat, or if you have any like burning questions, send them in via super chats, and we'll get to them in just a moment. But yeah, so they meet for the first time, and then you have her coming up with the Superman name, which is just fantastic. Like, I got chills when this happened. I'm sure a lot of you guys did. And then they have Superman's first like television interview, which was really cool, and seeing him like answer these basic questions that we kind of know, but like he's revealing to the world, is just really, really cool. And I like the 4:3 aspect ratio, kind of the aspect ratio that I'm in right here. And he's just like, sitting there, and it's very simple, and it's very nice. And so, yeah, you get the origin, like her revealing that she really, really loves Clark, and, but then once they go to Smallville, Superman reveals himself as Clark Kent, or vice versa. Then you see the birth of their children, and at that point you get the revelation, it's been Morgan Edge this whole time. And basically what we've seen as a viewer this whole time is we've been manipulated by Morgan Edge. We've been seeing what he is showing us. He's showing us all the stuff that happened before, and we didn't know. We just thought this was like an origin episode, but no, it was orchestrated by Morgan Edge, which I thought was really cool. And so seeing him pop up was like, whoa, okay, we got messed up here. Okay, so yeah, then you get Superman waking up, and them having their confrontation. They have like a little mini fight. Then you have Sarah and Jordan. That is the thing that finally happened. Then Morgan Edge goes away from the fortress, and he goes to the Kent family, and he confronts them, and Superman finally gives in and is like, I will do whatever you want, like, don't hurt my family. And obviously Lois doesn't want this to happen, or any of their sons, because they know that Morgan Edge wants him to turn evil. They've seen what happened to the other version of Superman on the other Earth. So yeah, it's just really good and really great the way that they did it. And then you get the revelation of Morgan's version of the Fortress of Solitude. And yeah, it was Morgan all along, basically, literally. And so yeah, it's in the desert, and Superman is sort of subjected to what Morgan wants him to do, and to become evil and to become like Kryptonian. I guess like his consciousness is probably taken away, and it's probably like another Kryptonian's consciousness inside of him. So he's essentially turning evil. And at the same time, you got Lois, and Lois is calling John Henry Irons, aka Steel, who was supposedly Lex Luthor, but now he's going to come back. And what I'm theorizing about is, I think that Superboy is probably going to face off against his dad. Like, I think that's going to happen. I think they've been setting, Superboy's powers up. Like, obviously that's Jordan I'm talking about. Like, I think he's going to become Superboy. Whether he gets a suit or not, I don't know. But I think that is going to be happening sometime towards the end of this season. So it was another fantastic episode of Superman and Lois. I'm sure you guys agree with me. What do you guys think about this? And are you excited to see what happens, right after this episode? Because, it's like that ending and the way they kind of set up all the origins was just really, really good. Okay, so that pretty much does it for most of my topics. So if you guys have anything specific you want me to talk about, obviously we can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say, if you have any final questions or super chats, please be sure to send them in, and start sending them in now before it's too late. Because we are hitting that 45-minute mark very soon. And yeah. So thank you all for actually joining today. I know it's earlier, but next week should be back to normal, so don't worry about that. Newt says, I can't wait for Jordan to become Superboy. I find Jordan to be a very underrated character. Yeah, I think he's pretty good, and like I've been very much so warming up to him and Jonathan recently. I think they are really good, and like so much better than like any teenagers on any of these shows before. So I agree, and I can't wait for him to become Superboy. I've basically been referring to him as Superboy. I don't know why. But Michael says Superman and Lois is easily the best show in the Arrowverse. Legends and Batwoman have both been really strong this season. Unfortunately, Flash is trailing behind. Yeah, Flash is trailing behind, but it hasn't been the worst season in my opinion. I think there's been some like very, very solid episodes. There was actually been some very good episodes scattered throughout the season, which is really good, obviously. But then you have had some, some stinkers, basically, with the Flash specifically. But yeah, Superman and Lois is easily the best show. I do completely agree with you on that. I think it's really good, and I think I agree with Markimus, that Jonathan is a late bloomer, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get his powers at some point. And Cal asked the same question. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jonathan maybe next season will start to showcase powers bit by bit, maybe. And so we need Team Citizen was like Lois's team on Superman and Lois. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Lois really has a Team Citizen kind of team. Obviously, she's kind of working by herself, but with that one extra person, Chrissy or something. But she is like pretty good. She's like better than Camilla and like Allegra. So I guess she's a bit better, but she's not like the best character, like still. But that's the only thing. But Lois is fantastic. Yeah, I reacted to the Titan season 3 teaser like last week, I think, on the live stream. So if you did miss out, you can always go back and play back and watch that live stream. But also remember, guys, if you didn't check out my videos, my 2 reviews of Superman, Lois, and the Flash this week, please be sure to go and watch them because it'd be much appreciated if you did, to get my like broader thoughts on all of this, obviously more contained. So this is interesting what you bring up here. So are they full-blown retconning Supergirl like Superman Lois? Has got me confused. So this is what they've said. They said Superman Lois is not a retcon, but they are basically just in their own world for now, right? They are, exploring these characters, but they're kind of like doing it in their own way, right? They have permission by the Supergirl showrunners and everything to go ahead and basically make a new fortress, do a couple of things. Like, you don't need to reference Supergirl that much. Like, I don't think they've referenced Supergirl at all yet. But they're not like retconning it. But for now, until season 2, they're pretty much containing themselves in their own kind of world, and then I think they're going to expand more with season 2, especially when like the next crossover happens at the start of the Flash season 8. I'm pretty sure that Superman's probably going to show up in that crossover. No, Superman Lois is on Earth Prime. It is on Earth Prime. It is in the Flash's Earth and Supergirl's Earth and everything else. Just right now, they are containing it as a show, just for one season, and then they're going to cross over again, and you'll see it's all part of the greater Arrowverse as a whole. So that's just like, just for now, and we'll see. But they've said they're going to cross over more. So not on another Earth, it's on Earth Prime. It's all canon. It's all in the Arrowverse. And yeah. Cal's right. Next season is going to be more centered like in the Arrowverse, and there will probably be a bit more references to the rest of the Arrowverse. But yeah, so send in your final questions, your final topics. We're going to be ending this stream pretty soon because there's not too much that we can talk about if I'm completely honest. Batwoman's in the Arrowverse. I'm a bit behind on Batwoman, so I can't really comment on it. But I know that people are saying these last few episodes have been very good. Also, the next episode of Superman Lois, John Diggle is going to be showing up. Also, the next episode of Legends, John Diggle is going to be showing up. So maybe I'll check out those episodes for sure. Obviously, I'm going to check out Superman Lois, but I'm saying maybe I'll check out like Legends, because I'm a bit behind. But I want to see John Diggle. I haven't seen the Batwoman episode with John Diggle yet, but people said it was like pretty good, although he barely appears in the episode, so it's not really a big crossover or something. Like, the character just shows up basically. Ben, do you have a favorite Bat family member? Well, apart from Batman, Dark Shadow, I'm gonna say Bat family. Well, like Robin or someone. Like, yeah, I'm just simple. I like Robin. If I'm gonna say anyone else, yeah. So that's my answer. Sorry, it's a bit anticlimactic. Maya says, "Can you review Legends of Tomorrow?" See, the thing is, and I've said this a lot of times to everyone who asks, like, can you do a video on this other show or something? A lot of it is dependent on, like, you guys. And, like, if you watch a Legends video, like, I'm not just talking about, like, 2 people or, like, 100 people. I'm talking about, like, thousands of you guys need to be interested in watching a Legends of Tomorrow review. If not, like in the past, and it turns out, like, not many people watch it, and I'm not enjoying the show or something, I tend to not actually review it. So if you guys are super interested and I hear feedback from like loads of you guys that, oh, I want a Legends review, of course I'm going to do it. Like, I'm covering Superman Lois and I'm going to continue to cover it, mainly because Supergirl is going away after this season. Obviously, I we'll continue to make Supergirl videos with the Supergirl film coming out, her showing up in the Flash film. So we're still gonna make Supergirl videos and like do old like retrospective, like maybe I'm thinking of doing like reaction videos to old episodes of Supergirl. So obviously we'll continue with that, but we're going to do more Superman Lois videos because it is a Supergirl spinoff after all, and also big thing, it's so good, so of course I'm gonna review it. Like if I love a show, of course I'm gonna be excited to do videos on it every week. I got a couple of Superman Lois theories I have in mind that I think would make for good videos, so be on the lookout for that if you want to see anything to do with Superman Lois. But yeah, I mean, pretty much that is like my, overall thoughts on most of the stuff this week. I know that I haven't touched on like every single show, like Batwoman, Legends. I'm gonna watch them and I'm gonna, catch up, and maybe next season I'll get onto it. But like I said, some of these shows just I don't like as much, so it's a bit harder to get motivated unless some of you guys are like, yes, like give me a Legends review or give me a Batwoman review. But yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it for this live stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, you can watch my latest videos. Just go on the channel, subscribe, and leave a like and a comment. Also, remember, if you want to become a member of the live stream, and I'm going to be showing you guys right now how to become a member of the channel, because we are going to be doing a Zoom call very, very soon. We do monthly Zoom calls for members, and to become a member, you see this is the chat right here. Just underneath the chat, you will have a join button, or you can click on this button here, send, and then click join here. So you can click the join button to become a member of the channel, and by becoming a member of the channel, you're obviously a member, you're supporting the channel, but also you have exclusive perks, like your name comes up like differently, you have like different color names, and obviously you like appear brighter and everything, and then you get these sort of stickers next to your name, so you have like the Flash, Supergirl, Monel, like lots of different versions, and there is different tiers that you can join and become a member. But the main thing about becoming a member is you have our monthly member Zoom calls. They are awesome. We've done like 3, I think. Yeah, we've done like 3 as of right now. And they are really, really good. And, it's just like a bunch of us talking about anything that we want to talk about, like DCTV shows, theories, anything. And it's just like 1-to-1, me, some of you guys. There's normally like 5 to 10 people that regularly show up. Obviously we have more members than that, but not everyone can make it every time. However, if you want to talk to me and discuss theories like we do in these live streams or videos, that is the best way to do it. So join and become a member today by clicking the join button if you want to join in on the members Zoom call. And yes, every member, no matter what tier you are able to join those Zoom calls. And, this is happening, and I'm mentioning it now because it's probably going to happen sometime in like the next few days to like definitely sometime this week. So be on the lookout for that, guys, if you want to join and talk to me this week about these shows and what we've talked about today. So obviously click the join button. You can choose your tier, whatever you feel like and whatever you're comfortable with. And that is the best way to become a member of the DCTV show. And I thank you for that. If you do become a member, it is live. It's not recorded. It's like, the Zoom platform. You join the meeting and, it's like I join in, you guys join in, and everyone joins in, and it's live. And so that's how you do it. And it's a really good fun. And I think it's like the coolest thing that we get to interact, like, me and you guys who watch my videos, and we all watch the shows. So we just talk about the shows. No, we don't stream it. It's like a private members Zoom call for only the members. So yeah, that's what we do. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Sorry that I was streaming earlier today. Obviously, some other people weren't able to make it. We'll be sure to get back to normal time next week. Hopefully, I'll have Eric joining from Eric's Reloaded, maybe Paigey as well. But I'll also be on Eric and Paigey's after party as per normal next Wednesday. So go check out Eric's channel and all their reviews for this week's episode. And remember, tomorrow my Flash video is going to be coming out on episode 15, breaking down the Godspeed trailer. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.